Good morning and welcome to the next edition of the video blog. I wanted to take a few seconds and discuss student loans. It's becoming an absolutely huge issue in the country right now, and more people are calling us about them. The basic question is, how do you get rid of them? The basic answer is, you can't. You're completely out of luck. Student loans are incredibly difficult to discharge in a bankruptcy. They go by something called the undue hardship test. Now, in order to pass this test, you can't just be unemployed, and you can't just be living at home with mom and dad, and you can't just be sort of underemployed. You really have to have some stuff wrong with you for a long period of time. So, what does that actually mean? Well, in a recent case that came out, a person who was on Social Security disability because they were considered disabled had a kidney transplant, a liver transplant, had mental issues, was legally blind, and lived with his father, was ruled to not have his student loans discharged for another year to give him an opportunity to look for work. Again, that's the status quo. That's where we're at right now. That's why there's such a huge commotion about actually changing the law surrounding student loans, because you really can't get them discharged. Many of my clients come in these days. It's different than it was 5 years ago. They say, look, Danny, I got $30,000 in credit card debt, but I have $150,000 in student loans. I had a girl call me yesterday who had $195,000 worth of student loans, and she wanted to hire us to settle the actual student loans. No dice. It never, ever works. When we call them, they basically want a huge payment in bulk right away in order to settle them. The reductions are anywhere from, 10 to 15% in most cases, which does nothing for the majority of people. And you don't have that kind of money if you're unemployed and $195K in student loan debt. So, until Congress gets their act together in more ways than one and changes the law surrounding student loans and makes private loans dischargeable in a bankruptcy, which I think is going to happen in the next 5 years or so, there's really not a lot that lawyers can realistically do to discharge your student loans. Obviously, exceptions apply. But the real sort of moral in this says that, if you have a ton of debt and you followed some good advice about going to college, about going to graduate school, and you can't get a job like so many other Americans, you're really out of luck. Right now there's over $1 trillion, that's with a T, dollars of outstanding student loan debt. That's more than all the credit card debt in this country combined with all the car note debt in this country. It really is a big problem that has to be dealt with. Right now, bankruptcy attorneys don't have great solutions. Sometimes they'll make motions to discharge this debt. Many times they're actually not successful. Obviously, my practice is limited to New York and New Jersey, so other states will have other laws that may deal with it, or other case law that may deal with it. But you should definitely speak to an attorney if you do want to continue and see if you can discharge them. But my advice, it's probably not going to happen. Not great news, but nevertheless some news. So until next time, talk to you.